In a not so surprising turn of events, it turns out that the Greater Wynnewood Exotic Animal Park is no longer. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the park that was made famous by Joe Exotic is now permanently closing its doors. And that's because the current owner, Jeff Lowe, had all of his USDA permits pulled this week after a stream of multiple violations. Oh wow. Sorry, there's a bunch of cormorants taking off and it looks really cool. I get distracted by things like this. Anyway, as a matter of fact, I actually traveled to the Greater Wynnewood Zoo back in March to take a look at the place on my own, and I have to tell you, it was quite disturbing. Many of the animals had absolutely no substrate, no shelter. It was a really cold, crisp spring morning, and I remember distinctly seeing these lemurs that were scrounging for the littlest bit of sunlight just so that they could warm up for the day. It was really tragic. All of the cats were sitting in layers of mud and giant puddles in their enclosures. It was really horrendous.
I know I'm not supposed to reach across the barrier, but you guys are just too damn cute. Hi. Hey guys. You're my friend. I love you. You love me. You wanna come back to New Jersey with a great big grizzly, emotional support animal on the plane. What are you doing? Are you stalking me? Are you stalking me? Huh? You gonna get me? Come get me. Come get me. Gorgeous. So this is how close you are at the zoo. It's pretty interesting. You can get this close to these big cats.
Some of the violations were so serious that I cannot believe this man is not going to be facing animal abuse charges. There was one instance where there were two older wolves that were retired and taken off of exhibit. They were put in an off-exhibit area that apparently had nothing more than a concrete floor. Now, these old guys were in such bad shape that one of them could no longer stand and the other one had pressure sores all over its body from not having a comfortable place to lay. And that is just the tip of the iceberg from the report that I saw, which is available on the USDA website. Apparently there was a ligon, which is a lion, tiger, or tiger, lion, whatever the fuck it is, hybrid cat, and his name was Young Yi. And apparently Young Yi died of renal failure, according to a report that the USDA got to look over. Now, the problem with the report is that it was not made by a veterinarian. As a matter of fact, a veterinarian had not seen this animal for weeks prior to its death, nor had it been seen by a veterinarian after its death. So the cause of death was just guessed upon its age and its behavior. And if it did die of renal failure, that's a real shame, because if you've ever had an animal that suffers from any kind of renal problems, you can know that it's incredibly painful for that animal. So I can't imagine the suffering these animals went through. And I get the feeling that that is just the tip of the iceberg. The zoo had 34 animals missing. Apparently their records for acquisitions and deacquisitions were so bad that there are 34 animals that are unaccounted for. And apparently at one point, one of the inspectors was led away to an area because of a foul smell emanating from it, where they came to find the partially burned remains of that very animal, Young Yi, under a tarp with another animal that was in such a bad state of decomposition, they couldn't even tell what kind it was. there were so many flies attracted to the area that they were starting to attack all the animals in the immediate vicinity, causing fly strikes on many of the animals that were on display at the zoo. It was quite appalling. Incident that was listed on the USDA violations was the fact that they had a refrigerated meat truck that wasn't refrigerated. As a matter of fact, upon inspection, the inspector found that the inside of the truck was the same temperature as the outside of the truck, which was 85 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's where they're storing their meat, people. So what I don't understand is that we currently have Joe Exotic sitting in jail for wildlife violations, which he probably well should be. And then we have instances now where we have the same wildlife violations occurring with Jeff Lowe, who apparently seems to get away with a lot despite doing some obvious animal abuse. I really urge the USDA to take action upon this and set an example, because this is not satisfactory in any way, shape, or form. Not only were these animals hoarded out there in that horrendous zoo, they were kept under terrible conditions, and we don't even know what's happened to more than half of them. And I'm not saying Joe doesn't deserve to be in jail, but what I am saying is that if Joe Exotic got locked up for wildlife violations because of killing tigers, then Jeff Lowe definitely needs to see some time, because not only has he killed tigers, but there's so many instant cases of active animal abuse available right there for the USDA to witness. This man needs to seriously be locked away. He needs to be locked away for wildlife trafficking, for endangering wildlife, for animal abuse. Who knows how many other violations that he's covered up that we just don't know about. Why is the USDA, why is the state of Oklahoma not taking action? Somebody needs to jump on this ASAP and let this scumbag know that he can't do that to animals. It's just not fucking cool. So it's been reported by Jeff that apparently the animals are being handed over to private individuals, and I hope that's the situation. They had about 30 odd animals listed currently in their inventory, and a lot of big cats and porcupines, foxes, wolf hybrids, all kinds of stuff. So I really hope that he does find an adequate place for these animals to live, and I can't imagine that conditions couldn't be better for them at this point. So in the very least, it's looking like this is going to be the end of the greater Wynnewood Zoo. It looks like they're finally going to shut their doors once and for all, but I really need to see Jeff Lowe serve some kind of justice for this, because it's just blatant animal abuse. You can check out the USDA website at usda.gov, and you can search it up and you can actually read the reports and see that it's no bullshit. This guy was abusing these animals, so please, somebody do something about that. As far as I'm concerned, Joe, Jeff, and all those fucking people would just disappear, because they don't do anything for animals. They never have from the get-go, and they probably never will unless they can make some kind of money for them. From them. Stop laughing at me. I can mess up. Jerk. Yeah, I thought so.